Today I have another huge printer. Actually, I prefer small printers, but companies, they seem to like to send me big printers. And this printer is sent by a local Shenzhen company. It's called JGAurora. R and L is kind of my enemy. I think I'll practice more. But that's that. There are very few, JGAurora printer review on YouTube. So let's open it. I'm curious what this looks like and what it can do. So let's open it and take a look. Okay, I guess it's time for me to call some helper elves to move this for me. Be right back. Good work, elves. Thank you and see you later. So, let's see what we've got. We have 3D printer toolbox. In the toolbox, we have the warranty, the plastic cutter, spatula, and the power cable. And then we have the 3D printer filament here. And the last thing is the blue tape. So let's put that aside. So this is the printer. Let me move the front to the camera so that you can see. I should probably ask the elf to stay a little bit longer before I finish the... Oh. I can do it. Okay. And let's take off the plastic. So the build plate was hidden underneath the phone. The build plate is not PEI, build tag, or polycarbonate. It's the good old blue tape, huh? Sometimes I still use blue tape, but in this case it's quite odd. But let's give it a try. Let's see. And at the back we have 4 magnets at each corner. I guess you can just clip it onto it. Let's take a look. Yeah, it snaps right on. That's great. If you want to, maybe you can order another one for another build plate online to swap it out when you finish this one, and you can use another one, I guess. But it's quite nice. I like the design. So now let's plug it in and let's take a look at their interface. So let me set it to English first. Now it's in Chinese. The setting. Switch to English interface. Confirm. And then it will start So I switched to English. The font is kind of off, but now let's level it first. Leveling. Oh, so the interesting thing is it's a H-bar gantry style, and it has the linear rails. I guess X and Y. I don't know about Z axis. The strange thing is the filament tube goes into the drag train. I've never seen anything like this. But it's 2 things out of 3, so I guess it's good. So the leveling is finished. Let's see what other options we have. They have a filament spool holder, elevator. Let's see. So far what I've learned is this is probably a direct drive style, and the filament goes through the drive train, and then there is a weird angle for so the filament has to go all the way to the drive train, and it has the angle like, you know. So let's open the filament elevator and see what's going. So it's actually the Bolton style, not the direct dry. What? Oh. Okay, so the filament goes through the hole on this side and then go all the way back in. If it jams, what will happen? I have to what? Just for, I don't know. As you can see, this is not the normal size spool. I don't know how it's going to handle the normal size, so I'm going to test it out for you guys later. But for now, let's try this out. What just happened? I think the spool holder's way pressed it down by itself. I didn't do anything. I didn't even press the filament elevator, and there's a string of filament hanging out. So I was looking at the instruction on the top. I was a little short for that, so I missed it. And it looks like it doesn't need to go through the hole, it just the direction is wrong. So let's do a 3rd time. Okay, I was talking with the company about the issue I was having, and then I tried a couple more times. I play around with it, and I finally figured out how it works. So let me show you how to put in the filament. It still needs to go through the hole first, so. But this time we don't need to push all the way in, we just push it in a little bit and click in filament. So now the Bowden driver is pushing the filament through the tube, and now it's slowing, feeding it through to the hot end. Let's see. And the filament comes out smoothly. And as for pushing the filament out of the extruder, this is how it works. So now it is coming out. It just come out like that. Oh. So I didn't have to manually like grab it and then pull it out. I didn't know about that, so I tried a couple of times and it fell. Now it works, and the system works well. It was just poorly documented. Okay, let me show you the hot end now. The hot end. So from here you can see there are actually two motors controlling it. There is the bottom motor to pushing the filament through, and then the direct drive to pull it back. If you are new to 3D printer, it's quite unusual for a 3D printer, but I think this system works okay. And if you have a jam, it's easy to just, pop it off because it is magnet. And then after you take the jam out, you just put it right back. Okay, for the bed leveling, it is really interesting. Usually people do software leveling, but this printer can also do hardware leveling. So I'm going to tilt the bed a little bit. And there is an induction sensor and 3C motors. It can do real hardware auto leveling. So let me show you. So we go back and we hit leveling. You see, now the bed is all level again. So now I am just going to open the JGAurora slicer. And as you can see, they just reskinned the QR code program. The good news though, you can just copy their settings and drop it to the other platform like Linux or Mac or whatever. Right now I'm going to open my STL file, 3D Benchy. And here's our Benchy board. I'm not going to change any of the default settings, but I'm going to add the ref to the Benchy board. And let's start to print it at 0.2 and see how it goes. Okay, now let's try 0.1 and no wrapped without wrap. Okay, now let's try something a little bit more difficult. So I've got some test prints here. Here are some benchy bolts. And this cube was created by Angus, aka Maker Muse. Hey Angus! This is a really good test print and it gives the printer a really good workout. And let's switch to this camera. This benchy bolt, I printed it at 0.2. It has wrapped because I was having adhesion problems with it. So, but the resolution, I think it is pretty nice. I can feel it with my finger. Other than that, really no complaints. Let's compare it with the 0.1. I printed this at 0.1 and the resolution is a bit better. But same problem with the blue tape. They just stick to the bottom. So this one is also printed at 0.1, but this one is printed from the JGAurora 2. I have been using it for a while. The print quality compared to A7, I would say the A7 is a bit better. And this is the torture test print. So the same problem at the bottom, the blue tape, but it's the print quality. I'm satisfied with it. So let's give it a closer look at the microscope. So this is the 0.2 from A7. The layer line, it looks clean and there are no major flaws. So let's compare it with the 0.1, also printed out from the A7. The layer line is even finer here. Feels very smooth. And let's take a look at the 0.1 printed out from JGAurora 2. It is a decent print, I would say. JGAurora 2 is a workhorse, but the print quality, as you can see, the details are not as smooth as the A7. But JGAurora 2 is very reliable and I didn't have any major problem while I was printing the benchy bolt. It's just the layer line's quality is not as good as A7. So as you can see, the A7's print quality, it's great. I would say it's better than any other FDM 3D printer I have reviewed. And the H-bar gantry, the movement is fast and reliable. It has the 3-point leveling, so it's a hardware level, like it levels in the hardware. I think a lot of other companies is going to copy this feature because when you hit level, it just automatically have level itself in the hardware. But it doesn't mean it doesn't come with other serious problems also. So there are other cons I'm going to illustrate. Remember the JGAurora I didn't figure out first time, and I'm still using their filament. It's not like they have a chip inside or they have a proprietary system. No, but they have an unusual size of spool and the size of the wheels is different from the one I usually use. The normal size one, the one I usually use is like this, is a bit thicker, and the JGAurora one is thinner. Like this one is thinner. So this drawer only fits the one of their only fits their filament. So why is that a problem? Why can't you just keep the drawer up? Well, you can't. See? So if I'm putting a bigger, a larger spool inside, it will automatically go down and make noise like and then it will jam. And once it's all sealed up, there is no way to fit in the filament. So that's a really big problem if I have to use their filament or use other filament than the same size made in other companies. So next is the bed leveling. Right now there is no power going through the stepper motors. That's why I can move the bed freely. And whenever I'm taking off the bed, whenever I'm taking the hot plate off the bed, it unlevels it a little bit. If that's the case, you have to re-level it every time. You have to go to leveling, and then it only takes a couple of seconds. It will re-level itself. I know it's a bit annoying, but I think this is not a really big deal. It can be easily fixed. Just keep the step motor's power on. Obviously, from the interface, you can see there's some English mistakes. It looks kind of unprofessional, but it's not the end of the world. It's still readable. I hope they will fix it in the future. But what really bothers me is when you click inside, there is a Wi-Fi icon. When you click on it, nothing happens. It doesn't really have Wi-Fi. I spoke to the company. They said they plan to add on this feature later, but right now they're advertising it and selling it as if they have this function, but the truth is they don't have it. So there are three major problems: filament loading, needing to re-level the bed in between prints, and Wi-Fi. But those are just firmware problems. Just patch it. It's not that simple. I talked to the factory. They say I have to ship it back so they can physically take it apart and then flash the firmware to update it. It's not a joke. I was like, why can't I just, like every other printer, plug in through the USB cable and then update it? It's not like that. I asked many times and they say I have to ship it back. And I don't think it's fun for you guys to ship a 20-kilo 3D printer back to China just for flashing the firmware. So that's a big problem, but I'm giving them a couple of weeks to sort out the problem. They said they're going to work on it. So let's give them a chance because it's a very interesting 3D printer. I don't want to just let it go. And it's coming from China. It's innovative. It's wonderful and terrible, just like the drawer. So, but if they confirm and they cannot fix it, well, you and we're going to work it out. We're going to hack it and we're going to fix the problem. But right now, I'm just sit tight and wait on it. This won't be my last video on 8.7. And remember, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Thanks a lot for watching.